Hello everyone, horo wanyu, como esta, habari zenu, guten tag, konnichiwa, and all the other greetings. It is Kenyan Hippie back with a new video. If you just came across my video today, thank you so much for clicking. I hope you will stick around and learn something and maybe subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Dankeschön. Thank you so much, asante sana, for sticking around. I appreciate you all so much. Today's video is close to my heart and I'll tell you why. This character and I go way back, not on a personal level, but I have known him for a while now. And I came across this specific information because the previous video, you can find it here, that I made discussing why woke Black liberals are moving to Kenya and other African countries. One of the people featured in that video reached out to me in the comment section and essentially giving her side of the story. And I was curious as to who she was because I'd not done my homework on her, not really. She just represents a certain ideology that I was speaking about, not necessarily her as a person. I don't attack people, I attack belief systems. I found out that there is a summit coming up, some conference in December in Nairobi, Kenya, where I was born and raised, 254. And one of the people on the list made the hairs on my arms stand up, because this man is a man who's sown so much discord in this country, especially when it comes to people like me. Dr. Umar Johnson. Dear fellow Kenyans, brothers and sisters across the diaspora, as someone who calls Kenya home and has built a life abroad, specifically in the USA, I come to you as a proud Kenyan American conservative and as someone who's been labeled as a coon. Coon is just a short form of raccoon. It's a racial slur used for Black people who don't fit the mold. And I've been called this for simply speaking out against racial pride and seeing beyond color.
I'm not upset with y'all because I know you're mentally ill, which is why one day I'm going to open up a hospital for mentally ill Africans. I'm going to hospitalize you coons because I care about you and I love you. You're part of our family. I cannot let you go and do what you want to do. I care about the coons, brothers and sisters. I care about the coons, brothers and sisters. We're going to open up a mental health rehabilitation hospital for political coonery. We are going to treat the coons, brothers and sisters. We can't leave them out there. We have to treat the coons. The Dr. Papa Mental Health Hospital for coons. We have to rehabilitate the coons, brothers and sisters. Let us...
Today, I want to warn you, my fellow Kenyans, about Dr. Umar Johnson, who is set to address you guys at the Journey Back to Eden conference, again, coming up in a couple of months.
There comes a time in every generation when the winds of change sweep through the present and shape the future. In December 2025, those winds will carry the spirit of Pan-African awakening across the globe and find their powerful landing in Nairobi, Kenya, as Dr. Umar Johnson, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, returns to the soil of our ancestors.
Who is Dr. Umar Johnson, you might ask? Dr. Umar Johnson, full name, Umar Rashad Ibn Abdullah Johnson, is a widely known American figure for his controversial takes and divisive views.
As far as being called a racist, I can't be a racist. Racism is a group system of power and privilege that is exercised and implemented by one group that has the ability to disenfranchise the other. In order for me to be racist, Black people have to be so organized and in control of institutions that we can disadvantage white people or other non-Black people whenever we feel like it.
So I'm not telling you to hate white folks. I don't teach hate. I'm telling you to understand your enemy and know when your behavior needs to be adjusted so that you don't fall victim to the enemy. That's what I teach.
I first learned about him when I had my first account on TikTok. Remember, I began my content creation journey on TikTok. I was up to 700,000 followers before I got banned the first time. He's a self-proclaimed Pan-Africanist. And we all know what Pan-Africanism is really about. Go watch this video here. But let me tell you, his brand of unity is built on exclusion rather than inclusion. He's become very infamous for opposing interracial marriage and promoting ideas that attack both Black conservatives and mixed race families.
My wife sent me a Dr. Umar video on his take on interracial marriage, and she asked me to do a reaction video.
The reason I'm against interracial marriage, Envy and Charlemagne, is because marriage is an economic contract. It's an economic contract. Most women do not marry down in status. They marry up. And if you don't believe me, show me a rich white woman married to a broke-ass black man. Have you ever seen a rich white woman marry a broke-ass black man? No, you have not, and you never will. Because marriage ain't about love, it's not colorblind, and it is totally economic. So if marriage is an economic unification in a contract, how can we, who don't have enough already, give so much to the white woman and to white people who have already taken too much when we got all these black women out here who will never get married? Only 1 out of every 4 black women in America will ever taste marriage, and half of them who taste marriage will be divorced within 5 years.
Wow, I actually wasn't expecting that. So Dr. Umar is telling black women that even though only 1/4 of you will get married and 50% of you that do get married will be divorced within 5 years, that you should specifically marry only black men out of pity because they will have less to offer the marriage than any other race. What doesn't make sense to me is if marriage is just an economic contract, as Dr. Umar says, and that it's not out of love and that it's not colorblind, then why wouldn't every woman of every race try to marry an Asian man, since he statistically will be more successful than any other man of any other race? I will tell you why. It is because marriage is more than just an economic contract, and it is in fact colorblind. The white-to-white divorce rate is about half of what the black-to-black divorce rate is. The Asian-to-Asian divorce rate is only a few percentage less than the white-to-white divorce rate. The interracial divorce rate between black wives and white husbands is half of the white-to-white divorce rate, which means it is twice as successful as the white-to-white marriages and almost twice as successful as the Asian-to-Asian. Marrying someone for the sake of racial empowerment is just a form of exploitation of your spouse to empower your own insecurity. Insecurities require validation. Constantly needing validation from your spouse is taxing and very toxic in a relationship. Gee, I wonder why the divorce rate is so high with groups of people that need to be empowered.
If you want to save the black family, you have to protect it. And in order to protect it, you have to be against interracial marriage. You can't say, I love the black family, but I don't have a problem with interracial marriage. Interracial marriage is eliminating the black family because it is not providing our women with enough available and able black men to be their husbands.
Of the top 10,000 things that I wish that my children had: good health, intelligence, critical thinking skills, the ability to run, jump, walk, crawl. The color of their skin would not be on the list. Their ability to whistle would be higher rated than the color of their skin.
Nobody should be marrying out the race because there's political consequences, DJ Envy. I'll give you one right now. Naomi Osaka, am I saying her name
Yes.
right? The tennis sister.
Naomi Osaka, yes.
Naomi, I love the sister, right? She knocked off the greatest of all time, the GOAT, in Serena. But guess what? Who is she representing in the upcoming Olympics? Is she representing Haiti? No, she representing Japan. So here you have a half-African sister, an African sister, because there's no such thing as half African, our genes are dominant. So you got an African sister with a Japanese mother, and instead of going back home to your father's blood, Haiti, to represent the Africans in Haiti, you're instead going to represent the Japanese who've never done anything for black folks and are part of the Trilateral Commission with the American white power structure. But who taught her to play tennis? Did her Japanese mother teach her to play tennis? Or did her black Haitian father teach her to play tennis? Her black Haitian father taught her to play tennis. It's the African DNA. It's the African ancestors in that girl that's responsible for her tennis success. But instead of representing us, she's going to go represent the Japanese. Well, this is what you got to deal with when you make mixed race African children.
Even though exactly 50% of us come from our mother and 50% come from our father, that is irrelevant because the father was black and every good attribute that she has came from her father because he was black. And even though Naomi is a citizen of the United States and Japan, where she was born, she should still represent Haiti, even though she's not a citizen, just because she's black.
These are his beliefs on black conservatives. As a Kenyan conservative myself, I know what it means to value family, faith, and personal responsibility. Dr. Umar, however, routinely attacks and targets black conservatives, mocking us, claiming we don't care about people simply because we have independent thoughts or dare to challenge liberal orthodoxy. He has said multiple times that people like Condoleezza Rice, Clarence Thomas, and Colin Powell are not masters, but he calls them overseers, serving white interests.
If we had a Mount Rushmore of Negropeans, Clarence Thomas, Charles Barkley, Candace Owens, and Jesse Lee Peterson would get my vote for the Mount Rushmore of coons. For right now. This is not historical. This is contemporary. Right now, if I had to vote for 4 Negroes who represent the worst of the race when it comes to siding with the enemy on a Mount Rushmore for coons, it would be Candace Owens, Charles Barkley, Jesse Lee Peterson, and Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. They get my vote.
Dismissing our right to think or vote as we choose. He has even accused black voters who explore conservative policies and politics of betraying their race, painting us all with a broad and ugly brush, and stating that conservative African immigrants like myself need to be hospitalized in a mental institution for coons.
I'm not upset with y'all because I know you're mentally ill, which is why one day I'm going to open up a hospital for mentally ill Africans. I'm going to hospitalize you coons.
As someone in an interracial relationship and marriage, this part is very personal for me. Dr. Umar has made multiple public statements condemning mixed relationships, especially black men and women like myself who love outside their race. The reason I'm putting quotation marks is because we are not a different race. We are all the human race. We just come in different flavors and ethnicities. He calls white women who date black men snow bunnies, another racial slur, and he also calls the black men who date white women bunny hoppers, BH in short.
I'm messing with a snow bunny, what should I do? You should go to hell. That's what you should do. I'm messing with a snow bunny, what should I do? You should go to hell. That's what you should do. Dr. Umar, how do I get laid by a snow bunny? We need a mental health hospital for raccoons like you. You're in love with a white woman. Congratulations. You have had your melanin snatched. Your melanin has been snatched, and you can go head over to the Ice Kingdom. We no longer need you. What should you do if your son or daughter wants a white partner? Put them out the house. That's all. Put them out. Put their asses out.
Telling them they're no longer black.
Will I come to your wedding next year? Are you marrying an African woman? Dr. Umar, my brother loves white women. How can I redeem him? Don't redeem him. Release him to the bunny brigade. Don't save the snow bunny though. Send him to the bunny brigade. Send his ass to the ice storm.
He claims that dating a white woman is surrendering to white America, and even compares interracial relationships as flying a flag of submission. He goes as far as to say that my children and other mixed race children are ruined and can never fully embrace both parts of their identity. That only happens when you raise your children to see race. I've faced hate and been called a coon by Dr. Umar and other people like him, not for my beliefs, but because I do not define love the same way he does. Because my love does not fit Dr. Umar's definition of unity. Dr. Umar has also told black people to stop sharing anything with white people, warning that letting white people participate in cultural events is a surrender of power. I'm guessing he means black power.
Dr. Umar Johnson said that Eminem cannot be considered the greatest rapper because he is not black. This is of course a deeply racist statement, but let's watch his full speech and debate his points.
Eminem is one of the best rappers of all time?
According to who?
You, rap fans.
Let me say something to you, and this is going to my African fundamentalism. No non-African can ever be the best of anything African. It is an insult to the ancestors, it is an insult to the race, and it is an insult to every black person.
Dr. Umar mistakenly thinks that hip-hop is part of African culture, which of course is not true. Hip-hop originated in Bronx, which is a borough of New York, an American city. Hip-hop is a deeply American phenomenon, born from the melting pot of cultures and the clashing of ideologies. African culture is rich and diverse, but it never spawned soul, never spawned jazz, and never spawned hip-hop. These genres could only be born in America, and every American has an equal right to be proud of them, regardless of their identity.
He argues that white people cannot share power, and he claims that the minute you let them into your community, they will quote-unquote take over. He ignores ties and partnerships, past and present, of business and genuine multicultural progress. This is dangerous racial isolation. Remember that the reason why America has civil rights, the civil rights movement was fought by both sides. The percentage of black people who fought for the civil rights was a very small one. If it was not for those white people that he hates so much, even if he says he doesn't hate them, they're just the enemy, this is not African unity. Dr. Umar claims to be Pan-African, yet his behavior portrays nothing but hypocrisy. He aggressively strips Africans of their racial identity if I don't echo his narrow ideologies, or if we choose to marry outside of our ethnicity. He acts as if he's the official gatekeeper of blackness, which thank God I don't identify as black because I'm not a color. I don't fit in that mold. He is not my king. Even more absurdly, he went ahead and adopted an African name for show, despite the fact that there are claims it was bestowed upon him by an African leader in Nigeria in the Yoruba tribe. And despite not having a shred of African heritage, it is nothing to me but performative theatrics to pander. The name Ifatunde Oguntade, he claims he got in 2011 by an African chief somehow in a village in South Carolina, which is not adding up. And according to him, it means destiny has returned. Then he shortened it to Umar Ifatunde. In 2025, there's a YouTube video that claimed that Dr. Johnson changed it to Umar Ufande following a visit to the African village of Ounji. Dr. Umar has also faced some controversy over allegations of scamming the black community by soliciting donations, which was supposed to go to build a school for black boys since 2013. Over a decade later, the school has not come to fruition despite the continuous fundraising. And recent reports suggest that his bank accounts have been frozen. He claims it's not due to fraudulent activities.
Yeah, I did all that talking when I said something about Umar. Umar comes out with a video and does this.
Account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar.
You mean to tell me that after all this time and everything you've been doing, your account mysteriously gets frozen or whatever, or suspended or whatever you want to say because some suspicious activity, right? And then all that money that's been donated to the school, somehow that account also is suspiciously attacked and stuff like that, right? So the school now is not going to have any money. The school that hasn't been built yet, right? That they have certain stuff built, but nobody can still go to the school yet. But wait, you said what?
My account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. If I don't have...
These empty gestures and divisive antics only reveal him to be a fraud, peddling unity while sowing the seeds of division and self-interest. Why should Kenyans care? We Kenyans are known for our hospitality, our strength, and our open hearts. Dr. Umar's ideologies are the exact opposite of unity. If you are a Kenyan, na umeolewa na mzungu. If you're a Kenyan and you have an interracial family or pointy kids, mixed kids, he preaches against you. He will strip your Kenyanness from you because you don't deserve to be called a Kenyan, because how dare you marry outside of your ethnicity. His ideologies are full of exclusion and suspicion.
On behalf of Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade and the International Movement for the Independence and Protection of African People, you have hereby been excommunicated from the African race, and we have rebirthed you into the European power structure.
He will tell us to divide families, mistrust neighbors, and silence those of us who think freely or differently. This is not the path to African progress. So as Dr. Umar comes to Kenya and claims that he wants to unite the diaspora, be very wary. Real unity celebrates diversity in thought, ethnicity, and belief system, not skin tone. Real unity is not about black unity. Real unity is not about collectivism and a cultish mentality based on hateful and divisive rhetoric. I implore you to look deeper into who Dr. Umar Johnson really is, and you might change your mind. I'm truly concerned about the rate at which Kenyans are absorbing and embracing the woke ideologies and victim mindset that's being touted to them from the West, as well as the Marxist gospel being sold to you through Pan-Africanism. If you've had a run-in with Dr. Umar, please let me know in the comment section. What are your thoughts? I'm still reeling from the fact that he's going to be going to Kenya, because I feel like all he's doing is spreading his hateful rhetoric, using humor, I suppose, as a bargaining chip to spread his hateful ideologies.
Every time an African baby is born, after we pray over that beautiful African life and wish that baby well and wish their parents well, we then have to cross our fingers. We then have to cross that fingers because that little beautiful African baby, that little boy or girl, that divine gift of supreme consciousness, in 20 years could damn well be a coon. In 30 years could damn well be a coon.
If you've stuck around this far, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post any new content. Kenyan Hippie out.